Mm, mm, ah. I forgot to unmute myself, man. Here, professional at work. Okay, I posted this on my community tab thingy, but I thought I'd read it as well, because not everybody, reads what I write necessarily. So I posted this on a Facebook group that I'm part of randomly. So I don't know. Of course, now I've got all this phlegm in my mouth. Hold on. Let me clear that out. I swear, when I go to. Oh, okay. I decided to kill my camera randomly. When I go live, I swear, it's like my throat decides to get all clogged with stuff. All right. Let's see if I can get my camera working or not. I need a new camera. Not that it matters that much. There we go. Okay. I've been a skeptic for many years now, ever since I deconverted from my belief in Christianity. That journey was one of discovery. The ideas I once held to be true were not true. The beliefs I had were simply that, nothing more. I learned logic and I learned to be alert to what my mind and the human mind can do. There's a lot of what's called magical thinking. When someone believes in an idea, be that idea one of the supernatural type or anything else for that matter that can't be verified by empirical methods. If you think X is true, and you spent time, money, or energy on it, then you will make any and all excuses to support the idea, even if shown you're wrong. A minor example I can think of this magical thinking, this is S.J. Thomas actually posted this, was a person that claimed they did not want to be around atheists because they would feel the darkness of them. I offered them $1,000 to do a simple test to show it was that was true. And I explained how easy it would be, and proposed a test with doors, see if he would know when the atheist was or wasn't behind a door. And if they could really know, then they should get it right every time and win the 1,000. And their response was, just because you can't test something doesn't make it untrue. And then they knew the test would fail because they don't know when an atheist is around. They cannot feel the darkness. The test would have shown it was real. That was the point. And plenty of people have beliefs like this, where they think they can feel good or bad people or have intuitive notions about what to do or not to do. We see the hits, we ignore the misses. It's only a story when something unique happens. A single person surviving a bad crash is unique. We marvel at it. Everyone surviving, that would be even much more unique. But we don't marvel when no one survives the bad crash because that's somewhat expected. If you feel that turning left on a street is something you must do, and you turn left, and then you wonder why you did that, you get back on the right road, and then you see a car accident. You might think that you avoided it because of your gut telling you to turn left. However, the other times you felt like turning left, if nothing happens, you don't remember doing it. The times you felt like turning left but ignored the feeling and nothing happened, you forgot that. If you feel like you should turn left, then you get in an accident, you might feel like you should have paid attention to your gut. It's just how our brains work, broadly speaking. And this keeps us alive most of the time. We're pattern-seeking creatures that have odd belief about any number of things. The supernatural stuff is just one of those things. Ideas about politics is also a thing. That anyone who voted for X person must be evil. And now we're going to have the rights taken away. The world is ending. It's over. Panic. More reasoned minds have earned for calmness. And I share a link to this video that Michael Shimmer did, and he says, this is, nothing's going to happen. Calm down. Everything's going to be normal. And I agree with him. That it's just going to be, there maybe a few things will change, but there isn't anything that we can't unchange back to a different way. So I'm not worried about it. But the comments and the people have written in his comment section are doing the typical hyperbole of everyone who voted X is evil. This is the end, and other nonsense. Nope. It's not going to be that way. It's not going to happen. Everything will be fine. Everything will be normal. Whatever you think might happen is fear. And that belief is the key. It's belief. It's a strong thing. Be it belief in paranormal, supernatural, or political ideas, we have belief about all number of things, and the key is we must try to be skeptical about them. And what skeptical means to me is to hold the idea in question. It might be true, it might be false. You make no choice in the matter without more data, and we don't always have all the data. In fact, most of the time we don't have hardly any data at all. No, not everyone that voted for X is bad. No, not everything that bad happens from now on is due to whoever is president. They really don't have that much power. No, your rights are not going away. The fear is feelings based upon the belief that you're not holding in judgment. Do you have 100% proof that Z bad thing will happen? No. But I know, without any doubt, that no matter how rational, logical thinking I ask for, that beliefs will come through. That somebody will say that it's okay to panic because of X. That somebody will say logic won't work. That reason is not useful. I know that will happen, but I'll post this anyways, knowing that it will most likely get such a response. Why bother? Because I love logic. I love reason. I love being a skeptic. That's why I'm here in this realm of the internet. The why post anything is because I can, because I want to, because I think it's of value, because maybe it will make a difference. If you want to have a logical, rational argument against any of this, please present it. If it's based on emotions, I don't want it. I only want facts, not feelings. And no, this isn't about any political issue. Let's not make it about that. This is about using logic and reason on politics, religion, supernatural, etc. Use logic on all the things. Anyways, yeah, so if you got to this part of me talking because you're not reading what I am saying, then cool, lobsters exist. So, there, I read everything I wrote. Now to go off tangents and on tangents and say more things, I guess. I don't like the hyperbolic us versus them mentality I'm seeing. I really don't. It's scary and it's not helpful. We gotta learn. We gotta get along with each other. And these strong fears and beliefs that people have, I just don't see them being warranted. It's like, what happened last time? Nothing. Really? What terrible things were put in place? Were they changed? Could they be changed? Maybe. I don't know. It's like, people make a big deal out of this or that or whatever, key issue that they're really passionate about. And, if you want to be an activist, okay, be an activist. Do what you can to change the things that you can change. Vote in the way that you think might change things, but who knows? But the overwhelming support has shifted. So maybe something was wrong in your assumptions about how things should be. Isn't that the point of voting for things? Is like We're saying as a collective, we're tired of this. We'd like to try that. If that didn't work, well, let's try this again. Isn't that like the point? Isn't there checks and balances? Why is there so much fear? I don't know. But people are like scared spitless. I'm watching people have literal mental meltdowns over it. It's like, dude, it's not that serious. It really isn't. And look, if you need mental help, go get mental help. Because really, seriously, you need it. Okay, go get it. I know. I have my mental problems, and I got mental help for those, and I'm taking medicine, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do for that, and it's not something to it's just, I don't know. But I fear that, and well, and maybe I shouldn't fear, because fear, well, it's an emotion. I can't help it, I guess. But I worry, I suppose, that the skeptic, or atheist, the non-religious person, like myself, that it's so easy to let something else become a religion. Because religion took up a lot of my life when I was involved in it. At least one day a week. Now, at least an hour a week, if not more. But actually, I spent a lot more time praying and, reading Bible and, trying to figure out what God wanted me to do. And so, in a way, politics can play the role of religion if you're non-religious. So you got to be careful about it, because it could do the things to your brain that religion does to your brain. Why not? You're not immune to it. You're just as susceptible to magical thinking as the next person. So we need to be careful. Not be so hyperbolic. Not be so, quick, to paint with a broad brushstroke. To be reasonable. To use reason and logic on this thing. Well, it's really super mega important. Yeah. And so it's really super mega important that you be even more skeptical about it, because I've said this many times. The thing that you hold most dear, that's what you've got to be skeptical about. Whatever that is. That idea that you think, this idea is true. And you're elevating that idea above all the other ideas. And that idea is unquestionable. That's then you must question that idea. You can't let yourself do that. And I say that, but I know I'm going to do it anyways. I know I'm going to do it. I don't want to do it, but my brain's going to do it at some point, at some level, with something. So I say this to myself as much as I say it to you, that use of reason it's not easy. It's difficult. It's hard. It's hard to be nuanced. It's hard to do that. It's easy to be emotional. It's easy to be hyperbolic. It's easy to do black and white thinking, us versus them, group mentality. We are right, you're wrong. If you voted this, you're evil. If you didn't, everything that's bad that's going to happen for the next 4 years is your fault. It's easy to believe that sort of thing. It's hard to say that's just a feeling, and maybe it's true, but it's just a feeling, so I'm going to put it on my shelf of skepticism. It's hard to do that. Really hard. And in the past, I've called for reason way back in the past, like the atheist community, that, I don't know, whatever that is, were split. There was people that were being feminists, and then certain people were going after them, and certain people weren't, and there was like this rift that was happening, or so it seemed. And I'm like, why don't we just be reasonable and be like, I don't know, just debate it, talk about it. And some didn't want to debate. I'm like, no, we're right. Of course we're right. We're not going to debate anybody. Christy Winters, who proclaimed herself to be a feminist, was one such person that she's had said that she didn't want to debate anybody about anything. Later on, she did finally debate some people at some point, but I just said, fine, you're not part of my thing anymore. I'm not going to follow you. I'm not going to look at your stuff, whatever. We're done. She wasn't really doing atheist content anyway, so that she was an atheist was just a side note. She was feminist, and that was her content. And hey, more power to you. Whatever, do that. That's your thing. I'm not interested in it. I don't understand it. But if you're not going to be willing to debate it, that's going to raise some red flags for me. And I had other people say the debate was pointless or useless, or sometimes debate was pointless. And I said, that's just ridiculous. Here's the logical reasons why. And a lot of people didn't like when I did that because they disagreed with me, meaning that sometimes debate's pointless in their minds, I guess. So if that was true, though, it would make the video that said that debates were sometimes pointless be in the category of debates that were sometimes pointless, making that video actually pointless. I've had people tell me that logic isn't a way to know that something is true. And I said, really? Okay. Then what is a way to know something is true? No response. People have accused me of scientism because I asked for scientific evidence. I've seen it all. I've seen it. Of otherwise reasonable people say and do unreasonable things because of beliefs. Not in beliefs of God, but other beliefs that weren't necessarily grounded in logical, reasonable thinking. I've had people tell me, there's proof out there. And I go, yeah, that's nice. Are you making the claim that this is true? Yeah, okay. Then it's up to you to prove it. But the ideology of some ideology that's out there, I'm not sure exactly where this came from, but there's an ideology that some people latched onto that me, has to do my own research and find out and educate yourself on the matter. It's not my burden to do that, though. You're making the claim you have the burden. That's how that works. No. I make the claim. You go look at all the papers and all the books that are out there to prove that I'm right. And only when you reach this level, then you can talk to me about it. And so it's like, well, basically you're saying only if I agree with you. Because you don't want to debate people that don't. So it's just you're right and that's it, right? And I've seen that plenty. In fact, I just interacted with a YouTuber that I think is a pre-sup, pretty sure he is, because he asked it for the grounding of logic, and you don't do that unless you're a pre-supper. I was like, reality seems to ground it pretty well, and they're like, what's reality? I'm like, define reality or define nature. And I said, do you have empirical evidence or a repeatable test about God? And they said, well, do you have empirical evidence that empirical evidence is the only way to prove that things are true? Now, I never claimed that empirical evidence is the only way to know things are true. I simply asked for empirical evidence or a repeatable test. Those are two things. But notice how they reduced it to one and then made this extra claim about it being the only way to know things are true that I didn't claim. But that's the mind of the pre-sup. So I said, yeah, I do. So do you have proof of your God? And they didn't say anything back because they don't have an argument. They don't have proof. They want the whole burden to be on me. So that shifting of the burden of proof, that ideology doesn't just exist in religion. It exists in other spheres that we might believe in. So if you're thinking, you're wrong about whatever it is, great. I might very well be wrong about it, But you're not going to convince me unless you have a valid and sound argument, unless you have science, unless you have something to show me it's not going to work. And my only claim that I am making is we need to use reason and logic. That's it. That's my claim in this video. So I have no idea how you could possibly counter that claim. So, but if you think you can come up with something, let me know, and we'll see what that argument looks like, I guess. But there's nothing new under the sun. Years will go by as they do, and there will be some other thing that comes along where people will freak out about it and panic. And I'll have to call for reason and logic to prevail once again. And maybe that will happen tomorrow or next week or next year or sooner than that. I don't know. And I could be wrong. Maybe it is time to panic. I don't know. But typically, you're trained how to handle crisis situations. I remember doing stop, drop, and roll when I was young. We learned how to do that. We actually stopped, dropped, and rolled. We went through little tubes and under fake smoke, and we learned. And then when I learned EMT stuff, we learned to stay calm. And then in real life, if somebody had accidentally got a cut, they were all freaking out, and I'm like, here's this towel, blah blah blah, here's a thing, and I'm staying perfectly calm because I'd been trained to do that, to stay calm during something going on. So it takes training to do it, but we need to do that training. And if you don't go to a class to do it, then you need to do it for yourself, however, whatever that looks like, I don't know. But so that when the thing that seems like a crisis is upon you, you're just like, oh, okay. There's that coffee drinking dog in the fire, and he's like, this is fine. I'm like, well, yeah, you're relaxed, but you're also walk out the house, get out away from the burning building while you drink your coffee. And yes, it's fine because you can stay relaxed during the emergency and not freak out, because when you freak out, that's when you or others get hurt. You can't save anybody if you're panicking. The airplanes always say, put on your mask first and then help the person next to you, because you can't help them if you pass out. That's why you have to put on yours first. Your instinct is to, save your kid, but don't do that. Do you, then do your kid. Because the seconds that it takes for you to help your kid, you're not getting air, and then you pass out, and then who's going to help your kid? Reason and logic, I hope, which is an emotion, ironically, will prevail. But I don't know. So I'm skeptical about that. But I'm still going to promote these things as good things to use, because as far as I can tell, they are. And if I needed to, I'd make a logical argument out of it. But I'm too lazy to do that. So do your own research. Do it on your own. Wait. No, I can't do that. No. But seriously, honestly, if you wanted a logical argument, I could make one. But you'll have to tell me that you want one in the comments. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it because I'm lazy. No, I'm being honest. But look, I know that my audience is wise enough and smart enough that you guys, girls, and robots that listen to me, you already know that argument. Maybe you want me to do it just for fun. I don't know, but I'll leave that up to you. If you really are wanting me to do it, I'll make you that argument. But I suspect strongly you already know the reason to use logic and reason is because it's logical and reasonable to do so. And it's a tautology of sorts, but it's a good one. So, anyways, that's all I've got, I guess. for now, at any rate. And hopefully I'll find a video to complain about and yell at. And until next time, be skeptical of all the things. And after next time, stay skeptical. Also, lobsters exist. So, that's a thing.